everyone. By show of hands, could someone raise their hand if they think they know what a good leader is or what makes a good leader? Yeah?
I think a good leader uses motivation and energizes the people that they're working with to set a direction.
Okay. And did you have something?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much saying a good leader like wants to help.
Great. Well, there are other things about being a leader. A lot of them come from being intelligent and having good training and thinking about like how the skill set is working out. But that's the kind of skills that get you through the door, get you the entry-level position, or get you the internship. What we're going to talk about today are the 5 components of emotional intelligence, and those are the skills that are going to allow you to rise up in the ranks and get the higher level positions.
Those 5 components are self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills.
So we'll begin with self-awareness. What is self-awareness? The ability to recognize and understand your moods, emotions, and drives, as well as their effects. And why is this important? Because if you understand oneself, then you're better able to help those you work with. Having self-confidence and awareness of your strengths and weaknesses can help you succeed in whatever setting you find yourself in, and not being overly critical, because no one ever moved forward while dwelling on the past.
So an example of this would be you are a leader of a team and you know that you get very stressed out with strict deadlines. So instead of just taking it all in and being very worried about the deadline coming close, sit down with your team, make a strict schedule, know who's going to do what, then plan it all out so that it gets done way in advance so you don't get stuck with that strict deadline and then you get very stressed and take it out on your team. So being self-aware and knowing your emotions go into self-regulation, which is our next one.
And self-regulation is the ability to control disruptive moods and impulses. So that consists of having integrity. So that means you don't abuse your power and you have the ability to make sure you focus on the team's success and less attention about fighting and about what you want personally.
Exactly, and it's a willingness to be open to change. As Essence was saying, it's being willing to work with the people in your environment to create positive change, and not making impulsive decisions. Make sure you analyze the problem from every vantage point before you come to any conclusions, and talk with every member of your team.
So an example of self-regulation is that you are faced with a presentation, you think it goes really well, but you walk out of that and you know you've completely botched it. It was awful. Instead of taking your time to sit down with your team right then and yell at them, trying to assign blame, take a step back, go back to your office, review everything you went over, think about what could have gone better, what went wrong, maybe meet with the executives, the people you presented to, see where your flaws were, then go, take a step back, sit down with your team, and go through it without assigning blame and really trying to work out what you can do in the future to be better.
Another key component to successful leadership is motivation. It's a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status, a propensity to pursue goals with energy and persistence. So it's the desire to work for something more than tangibility, more than just money, as it says. A strong drive to achieve in every environment you find yourself in. It's being optimistic through even the toughest times, and making a commitment to whatever you find yourself in doing with your team.
And commitment just consists of being a reliable person and basically just whatever you say you're going to do, you follow through with it until the end.
And an example of motivation is if you're a team leader and you're getting very frustrated because getting reports back from your team is taking a very long time. So instead of just sitting there and being frustrated, you enact a new idea of having emails instead of having handwritten reports. It'll increase efficiency and it'll cut back on your frustration a little bit.
And the next one is empathy, which is the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. So this basically means that you're sensitive to others, so you understand that when you're working, everybody's personality is not going to be the same. So you have the ability to kind of help others and just realize that you have to deal and talk with people in a different way because everybody's not going to be the same all the time.
And this circles back to our first point, which is self-awareness. Not only the ability to analyze yourself and understand your strengths and weaknesses, it's the ability to understand others' strengths and weaknesses, who you're working with. This will in turn increase your expertise in building and retaining talent within your company, wherever it may be.
And building and retaining talent is a big issue today because so many factors go into what makes a company, and there's so many qualified people. So a lot of times it happens that you go into a company and you start working for them, decide it's not for you, and when you leave, you're not only taking a valuable team member, you're also taking a lot of information that you've gained and skills that you've learned from that business. So an example of empathy is when two giant companies merge and you're assigned to be a leader of the other company's team, and you go in and everyone's really frustrated, very scared about the merger, thinking they're going to lose their jobs. Instead of just rushing in and trying to make it known that you are the leader, an empathetic leader would take the time to sit down and kind of find out what's stressing them out, why they're frustrated, what can you do as a leader to make their experience as a team member better, and then present your idea and your new plan to the team as a whole. So empathy goes into social skills.
And social skills, proficiency in managing relationships and building networks. So you are effective in leading change, meaning that when things might not go right the first time and you have to make adjustments, you do that in the right way and you make sure that things still go accordingly.
It's being persuasive, not being the type of leader who makes people follow you, but being the type of leader that makes followers want to follow you. Which will in turn increase your network skills and expand your network, which is perhaps one of the most essential characteristics of an effective leader, is having a broad network.
So an example of social skill is a man was working for a global company right around the time that the internet came around, and he had had so many connections and networking skills from people in different areas of his business, communications, IT, HR, and on his own time, he asked these people to come together and kind of work with him to develop this new team to kind of reach out and figure out what this new internet thing was. He then made his first website for his company. It was one of the first websites for a major company, and he presented it to the executives, and the executives were so impressed by his social skills and ability to bring all these different people together that his whole team was promoted and given like a whole new branch of the company. So more and more companies today are figuring out that emotional intelligence is a key component of what makes a good leader. Larger companies are even hiring psychologists when they're doing the process or the hiring process for higher up positions and kind of helping them figure out who has the emotional intelligence to be a good leader. So maybe in closing, don't skimp on the intelligence, go to class, get good grades, get all the training you need, but in the back of your mind, keep in your mind that self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills are all important puzzle pieces to the puzzle that makes up an effective and strong leader.